Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday follow-up in the continuing journey of accountability. Well, I told you all last week that I would be in Milwaukee this Friday for the annual board meeting, and I was going to try to do something different. And I thought, well, I don't think I've ever chatted with you folks from my hotel room, my kind of home away from home, if you will. And things are going well, but as you can imagine, my whole daily routine is different when I come out to Milwaukee, and I do try to keep some sort of normalcy in my ordeals. Although my sleep pattern gets severely adjusted while I'm out here, I tend to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up for the day. And so I got in the habit around 5 o'clock in the morning, I would walk over to Dunkin Donuts just for a coffee. And I've been doing that ever since I started coming to Milwaukee in 2018. And again, it's a habit, a good habit, because I'm just having the coffee. And over the years, I've kind of like, because I'm so habitual, sometimes a lot of people say, well, geez, Rick, you tend to be stuck in a rut. Well, if it's a good rut, why not stay there? So anyway, I said going there every morning, and I would order the same coffee with the same cream and artificial sweetener that I normally get. And over the years, I've kind of developed a rapport with one of the clerks there. I would let her know that this is my last day, or I'd be coming in next month, and I would see her then. And again, it got to the point where I didn't have to wait to order my coffee. She would see me walk through the door, and she's already getting my order, because somehow I made an impression on her. Might have something to do. She was having a bad day early on in one of my visits, and I just wished her well, and her face brightened up, and she says, wow, that's nice of you. And so the next day I said, and things getting better, and things are getting better. So like I kind of have a friend here that, again, just a few times throughout the year, but an impression was made. So, habits, and I try to keep a sense of normalcy when I'm here. So my first morning in Milwaukee, I guess up at 1 o'clock, I'm doing paperwork and getting stuff ready for some projects that I'm working on for the 75th anniversary next year. And 5 o'clock rolls around, so I get going and do my walk. And what do I discover is that Dunkin Donuts is closed. They're up for renovations, so I'm not going to be able to see my friend while I'm out here. And again, my habits are askew. Well, good thing with Google, I said, where is the nearest Dunkin Donuts from here? Because I kind of like to have coffee in the morning. And there was one a little over 2 miles away. Well, I was not going to have time to walk 4-mile round trip in the morning. So I drove over. And so I figured it's coffee, but it's not going to be the same, so I'm not going to see my friend. Well, I couldn't walk in, so I had to use the drive-through. So I go through the drive-through, and I'm, put my order in, and I'm getting ready to get my card. And as I turn to hand the card over to the clerk, who do I see? Yeah, my friend from the other Dunkin Donuts. The last time I had come into Milwaukee was in May. When she recognized me, the first words out of her mouth was, I missed you. How have you been? That kind of struck me, because I always thought, yeah, I had made an impression on her, and she had made an impression on me over the years as we just chat briefly. I mean, we're talking seconds here on what's going on, how your day is, stuff like that. But all that time had gone by. We're in a different environment. And her first words to me was, how have you been? I've missed you. That's something, folks. That really is. So we took a couple extra seconds and chatted and let the cars pile up behind us as we tried to find out what was going on with our Dunkin Donuts. And she told me it'll be opening up in a couple of weeks and she'll be going back there. And I says, well, I hope to be coming back to headquarters in January or February next year. So I will see you then back at our place. So I just drove off, chuckling all the way that, who would have known that just that brief exchange over the years, a relationship was established, an impression. And it got me to thinking, that's kind of what we do in Tops, folks, is that sometimes just the right phrase at the right time creates an impression. And that impression is sustained over the years as we go to chapter meetings and build these relationships. But equally, it can go the other way. We have to be careful with what type of impression we make, right? People are always watching us. We might not think so, but people are always watching us. Sometimes they're judgmental. And I try real hard not to be judgmental. But when you offer support, you have to make sure that it is support, a good impression, a good help. And so it doesn't come out to be judgmental. Because if the wrong impression is put forth, that person is going to have a bad day, maybe a bad or a bumpy journey on the journey to a healthier lifestyle. Or if it's the right impression, maybe it's just enough to turn that person's life around. Now, obviously, there's more details in that first impression that was made when I met this lady at Dunkin Donuts. But suffice to say that it is a long-lasting impression because apparently, and I found out later, I helped her more that day just with some kind words than I realized. Kind words, not judgmental, a good impression. These are all strong suggestions and what's the word? See, it's what happens when you you get one off my good ways to live our lives, and not just our Tops lives, just our lives in general. Because yes, we are all Tops members, but we do come across a lot of folks who are not Tops members. And by the way, you should convince them to come become a Tops member. But impressions, again, support, as if it's not judgmental, will have a long impact or a lasting impact, I should say, on a person's life and attitude on how they hold themselves accountable. And speaking about accountable, obviously in Milwaukee, I was not able to go way into my chapter last night, but I know this week that I'm holding my own. I dare say that I probably stayed the same this week. It's just a calculated guess based on what I've been eating and walking and stuff like that. And as a group, as a board, as you can imagine, we have to go out 3 times a day for our meals, and we're helping each other stay accountable, but not judgmental. We are talking, okay, if we're coming here for breakfast, what do we think we're going to have lunch? Because if we're going to have a heavier lunch, I'm going to go light on breakfast. We all kind of plan. Now, at home, we kind of can plan our own way, but we have to be concerned about other schedules and how people tend to eat at different times of the day. So we're helping each other stay accountable as Tops members, not just directors for the board. And again, not judgmental. So I'm excited about our 3rd day coming up for the board meeting. We're getting a lot done. A lot of projects that have been in the works for a while are finally coming to a close, and you'll all see this shortly in the next month as we start in our 75th anniversary next year. So again, excited about that. So I just thought I would take a few moments and pre-record this message because I'll be at the meeting in a few hours. I'll let you figure out how early in the morning this is. And although I'm not going to see my friend because the drive over is kind of cumbersome, I am taking my morning walks. I'm going to another coffee facility, but doesn't mean I have to drink their coffee. There's fruit drinks and smoothies that I can get for more fruit and vegetables throughout the day. So I'm adjusting my habit there, but anxiously be waiting for my other habit to kick back in and get that straight away. So I am going to get a few more things ready and head over to headquarters pretty soon. And I hope you have a good day. And I will see you next week back in the main office. And I hope you have a good weekend.